Okay, week 8 prep is also going to start in the miscellaneous section. You're going to start with a half kneeling adductor. So what you'll do is you'll take one knee down, put one out, you're working off the instep there, and you're going to sit back to whatever angle you can find to stretch the inside of the leg right there. And of course you perform it on the other side. That's going to transition right into your ankle mobility, conveniently into the half kneeling adductor dip, where you're squeezing here, and you're making sure this isn't too far or too far in, just underneath, where you're forcing that range of motion and flexion through the ankle. Moving on to your hip, you're going to perform the Spider-Man shift and extension, which you've done before. The shift being this one, hips back and driving the hips through, working thoracic extension up top, back and through, and then the extension where you're going here, up and down, up and down. Then you're going to move on to your driver. And building off what you did in week 7, the reach driver lunge. Last time you raised and pressed. This time on a reach, you're going to go down towards your foot, around your foot on a linear, inside your foot on the lateral diagonal. So shoulders stay back, chest forward, moving. Make sure I'm moving through the hip, keeping my scaps retracted. This will be a reach, linear left, reach, linear left. Here's reach, lateral left, making sure that foot stays still. This is all clean lateral movement, and then here's the diagonal. Here, back, inside the foot, and back. Moving on to your hip rotation, you're going to take a single leg deadlift, make it multi-planar with a driver for your rotational hip. So you get your reps down the middle, 3 times there. Then rotate over here, and then rotate over there. And of course, repping that at least 3 times through each planar movement through the hip. T-spine seated rotation, which we've done before. Take our seated position here. We're up big here, make sure the elbows are back, chest forward. Rotate it. Get your reps at both sides, making sure you turn your shoulders to promote that rotation. Upper body, the lat, which you've done before. If you remember, you find a wall, you're going to pull that scap down, elbow in there, and drive the armpit down, and that's a hold. And doing so, lengthening that out so you get better reach up top for overhead movement. Elbow push-up, which gets the scaps firing, also the glute and the core. Remember right here, glutes are on, core's on. Performing the scap push-up with a good range of motion. Activation, you go right from that elbow push-up to a 3-point plank, this time using your arm, and you're going to move your arm forward, out and back. What you're making sure here is that the hips don't turn, so you stay clean in the plank position. So I'll show you I'll start them here for about 5 seconds. Everything's on the core, then I'll say 3-point left arm forward, hold for about 5, out for about 5, back for about 5, and back down. And then repeat your process on the other side, making sure the plank stays clean. Your movement is a reverse cross under skip to a go. And doing this, I want to keep my shoulders and chest neutral. My knees get up and out as I perform my skip. One time I'll turn left shoulder, next time I'll turn right shoulder, so I'd look like this. Knees up and out, knees up and out. Return and sprint. Of course, the same thing coming back as I turn and sprint, but make sure the knees get up and out for hip external rotation. Your med ball movements, we've got a figure 8, catapult, and a cross under hip toss. So for that, we definitely use the lighter ball for the figure 8 movement. And on that one, this is an awkward movement. You want to create, if you haven't done it before, you want to create hip rhythm here, like a pitching drill where you're doing this. But notice while I do that, I'm creating a hip rhythm, and I'm going to end up loading the hip, and I'm going to open the hip, turn through, and there's my catapult motion. So again, this is the figure 8 catapult, creating hip rhythm and posture, getting the hips open. This will feel very awkward at first. It's going to take some time to develop. It's not going to be, here's my hip shift, hip rhythm, and then over, and then through on that one. Now, the rotational movement for today is a cross under hip toss. So now we start the cross under series, or step under, where I'm going to step under. I'm not shuffling, I'm not being quick with it, I'm being controlled. Step under, so I load the hip in doing so, and then through with the hips right there. So it'll look like this. And then I'm through, and again, driving the hips through, and before my reps on both sides there. Making sure that the hip rotation is driving my movement. As you move on to week 9, your miscellaneous will start with a wall quad. You've got 1 foot forward, the knee down and back. Up roll tall. Obviously, the closer I get, the more stretch I'm going to get on that front side quad, making sure that glute's on. I'm chest is tall here. You feel that stretch. That'll be about a 10-second hold on both sides. You move on to your ankle, back to the rotational sweep with the foot anchored in straight as I sweep through, creating rotational ankle mobility down low. Moving on, a squat to stand, which we've been there before. We're bottom down, chest up. We're going to get the heels down. I'm here, I'm up. I'm getting a good hold at the bottom where I can sit down with my chest up for at least a count, and then coming up and getting the hamstrings turned on as well. And we should be feeling good ankle, hip, and thoracic mobility there. Moving on to the driver lunge. Today you're going to go T-spine rotation. So all this is a little shoulder turn, what I call outside rotation. If I'm moving my right leg, I'm going to turn to my right, lateral turn to my right, diagonal turn to my right. If I was moving to my left, outside rotation would be here, inside rotation would be here. Now I want to make sure that my shoulders separate from my hips. So I do a linear outside, I'm here, or inside I'm here and not here. Same thing lateral, if I want to go here, I don't want to be here. So watch the lower half and the upper half and make sure that they do separate. So here's me going through the series. I give you an outside and inside on both for each movement. Here's the linear right, outside, here's inside, here's outside lateral, here's inside lateral, here's outside diagonal, and here's inside diagonal. Of course, I hit more than one rep. I'd say, one day I make an outside day, one day's an inside day, multiple reps for each point of movement. That'd be followed by hip rotation with external rotation, the cradle lock, I'm running the knee, on the ankle, a little bit of rotation, and then I'm pulling up with good posture as I advance through that alternating. Next for your T-spine, the 3-point plank with T-spine rotation, a lot integrated in here with core stability, hip glute activation, and T-spine rotation. I'm going to take a 3-point plank here, hold that right there. All that plank work is turned on. I'm here, and I'm turning the shoulders, for a set of 5 to 8, making sure that the hips don't roll on that one. And I'll work both sides there. Moving on to the upper body, scarecrow and a prone W raise. Scarecrow, we've been there before. Scaps are down and back, internal, external rotation. As I rotate through there, working internal, external. The next one there, which is the prone W raise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this position on the ground, relaxed, and I'm going to come up and relax back down. Come up, relax back down, much like when we did this one, just in a different position, really getting that backside turned on. As we, okay, go ahead.